What was your life like in Afghanistan before the Taliban took power?
In Afghanistan, I was the girl who was educated, who had the right or the opportunity to educate, to work, to travel to different cities and also to different countries, even alone. And I was the person who could take all the decisions of my own life. And also, luckily, I was not the victim of forced marriage in Afghanistan. So the life before the Taliban regime, I felt so free. I was happy with my own life. Because for each goal that I set in my life, I could almost achieve them. I was working in the American University of Afghanistan as a recruitment officer. And then I got another position at the US Embassy Kabul as an assistant Fulbright. So when the Taliban came, I have lost everything. Even like for one moment, I have lost all my goals, the jobs I have been trying, and also the scholarship that I had for my master's degree.
When the Americans decided to leave Afghanistan, you were supposed to be evacuated. What happened?
It's actually a long story because back then I was not a student. I was a staff of the American University of Afghanistan. The university gives priority to the students first and to the staffs. For the first day, I could not go like other people to go to the airport and just try to enter myself to the flights. I wanted to go legally, and I wanted to have a chance to have a better life in another country. So I went to the airport 3 times or maybe 4 times for the evacuation purposes. The first time was actually the day when the Taliban took control of Afghanistan. It was the first day we had a flight to Iran. We were supposed to be in Iran, but because like the first day, it seems that like the whole Kabul went to the airport because the US military, they evacuated some of the people to the US. So the other people who were not even having any affiliation with the government or affiliation with the US, they wanted to escape the country. So they went to the airport for just the hope to escape from the Taliban. So that day, because it was a chaos, there was no flight like legally, so I couldn't make it. So we decided not to put my life in danger, so I returned back to home. So the second time, it also happened that my brother, who was working here as an interpreter here in the Ministry of Interior, he put our names to the list of Italians. We went to the airport. We have been waiting there for hours in one car till morning. In the afternoon, we haven't received any call. So that's why we decided, okay, this will not work. We have to turn and go back home. And the explosion happened there. So we were the witness of the explosion. Like thousands were killed and wounded. We could see the firings, we could see the people. But we were a little bit far and we were safe, so we could come back and survive from this attack. So the third time, the university that I was working there, they sent the permission letters for the students and also for the staffs to go to some specific place. We went there, we have been waiting for them, for the updates. We were supposed to be in the buses, and the buses goes to the airport. We have been waiting for hours there, but unfortunately, we received the email that we are sorry, we cannot help you, we cannot evacuate you because we haven't heard back from the US department. So the fourth time, my supervisor wanted me. He really tried his best. He wanted to find any way for me to at least help me to not live in Afghanistan under the Taliban regime. I went to Kabul, but unfortunately, the US department did not reply back. So I stayed in Afghanistan. And I actually received a scholarship from the US Embassy for my master's degree to go to the American University of Central Asia. Yeah, I studied 1 semester, but because I had the chance to come to in Italy, so I decided to come here and continue my master's here. So I think that the 5th time it worked and I'm here. Yes, yeah.
And how did you arrive in Italy? What was the reception like, and how important do you think knowledge of the language is for integration in the country of arrival?
We came through the humanitarian corridors with the help of FJ organization, Federazione delle Chiese Evangeliche. So actually they helped us a lot. They provided the housing for us. They have been working so hard. They put all the efforts for our documents, the process, for everything. I have came through this humanitarian corridor. I was so lucky, and I'm so thankful of them. Of course, the life here is not easy as a refugee. Today I was listening, though I'm not that much familiar with the language, but I could understand that, yes, the refugees, when they come to another country, they are already traumatized from the war. They already have their story, the sad stories. Even they are in safety, but their minds are not sometimes in peace because they have a bad memory. And it takes time for them to learn the language. It's so difficult because I have the experience, when you're in somewhere like in an event, even in the autobus somewhere, you feel like a robot. You cannot communicate with anyone. It takes time for you to feel like a human to communicate with others. The language can be so difficult because it's actually the key for all doors. When I don't have the key, I cannot open any door. The door for the jobs, the door for work, the door for university, none of them. So it's absolutely the most significant and important key for every door. So I believe here, Italia, I love the people because they are so nice, they are so kind with you. But only the struggle we have it with the language, because absolutely it takes time for us to learn the language, and we feel to settle in this community, to be part of this community, because it has, of course, different cultures, different traditions, and until we learn and until we get settled, it takes some time for us. Yes.
And how has the life of Afghan women changed with the arrival of the Taliban?
This is the hardest question to answer. However, it's so easy because it's obvious from the media that we can see they are educated like me, you. We have to imagine our situation. I mean, if you were them, what could you do? For example, think of COVID time. I mean, you could not do anything. You stayed at home. How was the situation? It was really difficult for each person. But I believe Afghan girls, they are like in their whole life, they should be in a great time because they are in prison, their home. They do not have a right to study, to educate above the 6th grade. They cannot go to parks. They cannot go to clubs. They are banned to work, not even in a private organization, not even in or governmental organizations. So they also, it's funny, but the Taliban banned the beauty salons for women. So women are not allowed to go to beauty salons. They can only stay at home, but do nothing. So it's terrible for them. I can give you the example of my cousins staying in Afghanistan. A life could be difficult for them, how stressful and depressing for them. When I call them, I really feel sad for them because they have invested their whole life to educate. They had their dreams to be a doctor, to be an engineer. Now they're at home, so they don't have any future. It's absolutely difficult for them. When I remember, I just want to cry because personally, if I had any chance to help even one Afghan girl, I could absolutely do this and to just help them have a better future.
Thank you. And talking about future, which are the future prospects for Afghanistan in your opinion?
I believe that other countries should not accept the government of Taliban because the Taliban has a dictatorial regime. The countries and the United Nations, they see all of this. They see that the women have no right. There is no equality between men and women at all. Not only about the education, but also they don't have any basic human rights. But the United Nations does not do anything. Other countries, they do not take any decision. It's going. They rule the country. They are the Taliban. They have a country. They are ruling a country. But other countries are silent. The United Nations is silent. They are not doing anything for the Afghan girls. So I'm sorry for all of the Afghan girls that everyone is quiet. They do not want to speak up. They don't want to raise their voices. They don't want to fight for the rights of them. So I think not only for the Afghan girls, I believe men are also not happy. If you can speak to any of men living in Afghanistan, they also have these limitations. They have to put the beards long. They have to wear not suits, but traditional even to the organizations or the government agencies. They have to wear all these dresses, long dresses. Even the men are not happy. But women and the men inside Afghanistan, they cannot do anything because the other side is Taliban, because there is no rule, regulation, law there. If they want, they can kill someone easily, so no one comes back and asks about them. When I was in Afghanistan, the 5 months living under the Taliban regime, I was tweeting in Twitter, but I was so scared of my own life. And after a while, I heard that some girls were kidnapped. They were raped and they were killed. So how could you cannot raise your voice as an Afghan woman staying in Afghanistan? So they cannot do anything. They let just life goes past.
Just the last question, if we may. What do you think Italy and Europe can do for those who are still in Afghanistan? Is there something?
Italy, since I was a kid, I remember the Italians in Afghanistan. And when I remembered some foods from Italians, I remembered that they were so kind with the people of Afghanistan. They're still, I can see here that the behavior they have with us, with the refugees. They have helped a lot the Italian government. They have brought so many refugees like us, like me, to Italy. But I will request the government of Italy to continue these humanitarian corridors. This, if not only like saves all the women in Afghanistan, but those who are really educated and they cannot tolerate to live under the regime of Taliban, they can come to safety. And on the other hand, they can also launch some online educational services to the Afghan women because they need it. Like thousands of Afghans, they are eagerly waiting for any opportunity to just continue their education. I believe the virtual opportunities will also be a good option for the Afghan girls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.